Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to our next session to this LWC Revision series. Okay, in this session, we will be seeing how we will be passing control from our JavaScript to Apex. So, last time we have learned about how we are passing control from HTML to JavaScript. What are the different ways? In this session, quickly I'll give an overview what we are going to do. Right. So, from JavaScript, if I want to interact with the data in the database, there are two ways. One is using wired apex and another one is on the user click or the user action, that we call it as a event. So this is again our automated event, and this is the explicit event on user action. Okay, so that's where we call it as a imperative. In both the cases, our objective is to pass the control from JavaScript to Apex and from Apex to, okay, so we were talking about the two ways, right, to invoke our or to get the data from backend in our LWC component. So the these are two ways, right? One is automated, one is our explicit. That's where we call it as the imperative apex. Now here what will be happening is flow is passing from, let me put some pointers here. So if I say from JavaScript we are passing control to Apex. Same way from Apex we can always interact with the database, right? That's not, and then the control goes back. If I put this way, from our database we are passing back to here to the apex, and then from apex we are passing back to, so this is the flow which we want to, this is the cycle which we want to complete. Now when we are calling any method or passing any data from JavaScript to apex, we need that method, right, in apex. So we need to write one method in the apex which should be aura enabled like this. So in our LWC component we need to call this class, right, get access to this class, and this should be the method. So this is normal syntax, standard syntax with some parameters I have, and then we need to make it aura enabled so that it is accessible from JS file. So from our HTML what I have done, I'll show you quick demo before. So this is my LWC component. I am accessing this element using record ID. On click of this, what I am doing, I am passing the control to the JavaScript by using on click event handler. Then from within JavaScript I am calling the apex method. Then so if you see here, right, on that button click I am passing control to JavaScript. From JavaScript I am calling method from apex. Within that method I am getting some data, okay, and then I'm returning that data back to JavaScript, and then from JavaScript I'm assigning that data back on the HTML. So how this is happening, let's see here on the UI. So when I say get update data, So behind the scene, all this process has happened, which I just explained, and then I got this data, which I am displaying on the HTML. So for displaying data on HTML, we know we need some variable on the JavaScript. Okay, so I'll show you step by step. Now let's go to our component. So this is my button which says get data. I have declared one handler so that I can pass my control to JavaScript. So now I am going to JavaScript. In JavaScript, this is my handle button click, right? Here first step is I'll do that debugging. Okay, now once I get the control here, now I need to call the apex method. So for that I need to create this class, declare this method. In this method I am accepting those two parameters. So this is the way I can pass some parameter from, or here I can accept those parameters passed in via JavaScript. I'll do some processing, return the data. Okay, now when I come to JavaScript, I need to know what method I need to call. So the step is to import that. So I am importing this method. I have just explained it here. In Apex we created a method that will accept a parameter from JavaScript file. We need to import this method using this syntax. This is our class and method. We can give any name here as a variable when we import, and same name we can use it here. So imagine this is your method name which you write here. Okay, now this is nothing but it will call your controllers and this method from your controller. It will pass these two parameters. Whenever you want to pass parameters, you need to always fall back to the JSON format, so key value pair, and that's where then this dot then will pass these details, pass the control to your apex. So it will come to here. Here you can also go to this system debug to ensure your method is getting called, and then you can start writing the code, right? Simply you can return a blank details as well here before writing the code, right? And then once your control comes back here to give back data on the HTML, so if you see here what I have done, I have called this method, passed these parameters. One more important thing is this parameter name should be same. So normally what I practice is I declare it here, I copy this as is and put it here so that there is no mistake. Okay, and then once the control comes back, this will come in the data. I need to assign that data back to the some variable which I declare at this JavaScript, and this variable I can access in the HTML. This variable I can look through it if it is a list. Okay, I can just simply put it if it is normal variable. So that's how I can access it. Okay, so these are the steps you need to follow in order to understand okay how these things are happening. And if you see here this is the important thing. If you understand this pictorial presentation, it will make your life easy. HTML to JavaScript, JavaScript to Apex, Apex to back to JavaScript, and from JavaScript back to HTML. So this we have already seen in yesterday's session. So this is what I have just now explained. From HTML on button, we have written a handler method. That handler method will be declared in the JavaScript. So our control is passed from HTML to JavaScript. In that handler method, you can put debug statement to ensure your this control is getting passed. In the JavaScript, if you want to pass the call to the Apex, so you need to create that Apex class method with aura enabled. Then you need to import that method in the JavaScript file, and then from JavaScript you can call that method. And once that method is called, you can put the debug statement there to ensure your control is getting passed from JavaScript to Apex. And when you return the data back, you know how to pass that data back on the HTML. So that's where this thing is. Okay, so I'll keep it little quick and short, but I hope you understood like what you need to practice with the help of this and this diagram. Okay, I want you to do some practice. Try passing some data from HTML to JavaScript, then invoke Apex method, do some processing, pass data back, and use that data back on the estimate. Fine. So this is it for this session. We'll see you in the next session. Thank you.